All right, hi guys. So this week we're going to be talking about how colors are organized, and specifically we're going to be talking about complementary colors. And if you look at a color wheel, which is how we organize colors, the complementary colors are the ones that are across from each other, across the street from one another on the color wheel. So all of our complementary color schemes would be yellow and purple complement each other. They're across from one another on the color wheel, and therefore when you put them next to each other, yellow and purple, they both appear brighter. They complement each other well. Orange and blue do the same thing. They're across from each other. They make each other better because they're across from each other on the color wheel. And then the last one is red and green. Those are across from each other on the color wheel, and those two colors complement each other really well. And there's a reason that these are traditionally our Christmas colors, because these two colors play off of each other really well, and it tends to make us think of Christmas when we see green and red. Okay, so let's get started on our artwork this week. For this week, I want you guys to try making a self-portrait with complementary colors. Now, a portrait is a picture of someone, and then a self-portrait is a picture of yourself. So I'm gonna walk you through the steps that you need to make your face look great, and today I'm using the complementary colors of blue and orange. These two colors are across from each other on the color wheel, orange and blue, and I think that they look really nice together. So this is what I'm gonna start with. I'm using markers and crayons. You could use one or the other. You could also use paint. You could use colored pencils, anything that you have on hand, but make sure that the two colors that you're choosing for your self-portrait are across from one another on the color wheel, which we will have in the slide before this video. So violet, yellow, orange, blue, red, green, okay? So I'm gonna start off with my markers, and I think I'm gonna start off with my blue marker. Now the first thing you need to make a face is obviously the shape of your face. So I'm gonna start by making a big kind of U shape for my face, and I'm taking up most of my paper with the shape of my head because I really wanna fill my paper well, okay? So our heads aren't floating in space. I started out with this big U shape. Maybe if your face is more square, you start out with more of a squared off U shape. Maybe if your chin is a little bit more pointy, you point the chin when you come down. It depends on your face shape. And if you're not sure, you might go take a look in a mirror to see what shape your face is. But our heads aren't floating. They sit on our neck. So a lot of people will draw just the shoulders, but our heads don't sit directly on our shoulders. They sit on our neck. So I'm gonna draw two lines going down this way for my neck. And then I can get started on my shoulders. So my shoulders are gonna curve down from my neck, okay? So now I have the general shape. I have my face shape, I have my neck, and I have my shoulders. The next thing that I want to draw is my ears. So I'm gonna draw my ears on either side of my face. You need two ears. Maybe if your ears are a little bit bigger, you draw them a little bit bigger. Maybe your ears are really little, you draw them really little, okay? But you need two ears on either side of your head. And then a great point to start drawing your eyes from is if you put your finger on the corner of your eye and you trace outwards, you're going to meet the top of your ear. So the corners of our eyes line up with the tops of our ears. So I'm gonna start right here, and my eyes aren't big and round. They're kind of like a football or an almond shape. So I'm gonna do my best to draw my eyes in that kind of a shape. So 1, 2 footballs or almonds. And then we have 2 circles in the middle of our eye, and then we have our pupil that lets us see right in the middle. So my eyes are composed of 3 parts: the football shape, the inner circle that's the colored part of my eye, and then the pupil, the dark dot right in the middle, okay? And I'm still using blue for all of these outlines because remember, we're using our complementary color scheme, and I think it's gonna look really nice. The next thing that I need is my nose, and you can draw noses a bunch of different ways. Some people draw noses like this. Some people draw noses like this. I like to draw my nose how it looks because I have kind of a bump in the middle of my nose, and then I have 2 nostrils on either side. So I started with this shape, and then I added 2 little curved lines around the edge of it, and then I have two little swoopy lines in the middle for the bridge of my nose. So I'm gonna do that on the front as well. Now you could just leave it like that if you want to, or draw an L-shaped nose, and that would look fine too. But I'm gonna draw my nostrils and the bridge of my nose, okay? And you can see that the bridge of my nose kind of meets the middle of my eyes, because your nose, if you feel on your face, ends right in the middle of your eyes. Then right down from my nose, I need a mouth. So you could just draw a big smile like this. You could draw a big open mouth smile like this and draw some teeth. You could draw some lips like this. So a curvy line on top and then a curved line on the bottom. I think that that's what I'm gonna do for my mouth today, and I may draw my lips in a big smile. So I'm gonna do a curvy line, a straight line, another curved line, and then my bottom lip, and then I'm gonna draw some teeth. I'm giving you guys a really big smile in this picture, okay? I might even add some little smile lines on either side of my face. Now, if you look at this picture, it looks a little bit scary because I'm missing some things still. One of them is eyebrows. Now, you might want to go take a look at what shape your eyebrows are, because eyebrows are a really unique part of our face. Everyone's eyebrows are a little bit different. Mrs. Turner's eyebrows are kind of big and bushy, so I'm gonna use some kind of zigzaggy lines to draw my eyebrows like this. I also need some eyelashes. And maybe a few little ones on the bottom too. I might draw some cheeks on myself. Mrs. Turner has some freckles, so I might draw in my freckles on my face. I might give myself some little swirly lines inside my ears to make those look real. And now I'm gonna draw my hair. Now, a lot of people, when they're drawing their hair, they draw the circle of their head all the way closed up in a circle instead of the U shape that we started with. And then they make their hair kind of flat. So if you're a girl, a lot of people draw hair like this. If you're a boy or you have short hair, you might draw it like this. But our hair doesn't really look like that in real life, right? Mrs. Turner's hair doesn't really look like just one line kind of swooping off the top of my head. And short hair doesn't look like lines sticking out of the top of our head. That kind of looks like grass growing out of your head. So if you are a girl, you want to start, or if you have long hair and you're a boy, you might start with some like swooping lines on the top. Now our hair doesn't sit flat on the top of our head. It kind of comes down over our forehead a little bit. So again, you might go look in the mirror and see, do you have some bangs laying over the front of your face? Does your hair part on one side or the other or in the middle? Take a look at yourself and see where your hair ends up, okay? So Mrs. Turner has a part on this side, and I drew my face almost a little too big, so my hair's gonna go off of the paper. But our hair goes up and off of our head and adds some height to our heads. And then I'm coming down behind my ear, and I'm gonna finish mine off at the bottom like this, okay? I'm doing the same on the other side. I'm gonna come around, and I'm gonna finish the bottom with some zigzags that look like hair. And now I can go in and add some like swooping lines showing which direction my hair is going. Okay, if you have short hair, you might start with your U right here. And then you might also notice like which way your bangs go, the part that hangs over your face. Maybe your hair comes up like this and is kind of spiky at the top, and then it comes down over your ears. Maybe you have really short hair and you just have kind of a hairline like this, and then up over the top of your head, it kind of stands out a little bit. But you want to make sure that your hair is coming down over your forehead a little bit and not just sitting on the very top of your head like this. That doesn't look very realistic, okay? So now that I have hair on my body, I just need to add my clothes. And today I'm just wearing a t-shirt, so I'm just going to draw a color like that. When I'm done outlining with one of my complementary colors, I might go back in with my other marker and add some things in the background. So I'm going to, in the background, just do some really large polka dots. You could draw a background if you're, outside or in front of your house or something like that, doing something that you enjoy. You might just draw a pattern like I'm doing, or you could just color in the background a solid color, but ideally, you will have drawn your face so nice and big that it takes up a lot of the paper, and you're not going to have to worry about coloring in a really huge background because you've done a good job of filling your paper with your face, which is the most important part. All right, so now you can see that my portrait is all colored in. I've finished coloring in every single section of my paper all the way to the edge. I've given myself a background, and because you're only using 2 colors, either red, green, yellow, violet, or purple, and orange and blue, because you're only using 2 colors, you're going to have to be kind of creative about where you put those colors. So I chose some areas that were separate or away from each other to color blue, and then I chose the in-between areas to color orange, so all of that really stood out. And if you want to go through and just use crayon, you could of course press really hard for your outlines and details, and then go in and color with a little bit less pressure, pressing a little less hard on your crayon. Again, you could use colored pencil for this. You could use paint, you could use markers, and we are so excited to see your complimentary color self-portraits. I hope you guys have such a fun time drawing yourselves and looking at your own face this week, and then thinking about how colors look together. I hope you guys have fun. We look forward to seeing what you do. Bye.